Hey friends,
I'm Steve.
and I'm Angela.
And we are
MidLife Cruising. In today's episode, we're going to share why you are wrong.
Over the past several months, we have seen many untruths on the internet and in our comments and around the World Wide Web. So we wanted to face those head on here.
It's so funny. Some of the comments we read were like, wow, really? People think, oh, they lied about this. Just in general, if something's true on day one, it has to be 100% exactly the same a year later, which is just the most absurd thing for me that people hold on. They said the food was amazing the first few weeks or the first few months. It was. I don't understand the naivety, to be honest, of some people, because have you ever been to a restaurant and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the best meal ever, and then you go like a month later and you're like, well, that was disappointing. Or you go to a restaurant and it's horrible, and you go back a month later and all of a sudden it's fabulous. Like, people don't think things can change over the course of an entire year. It's just, I don't want to use the name Karen because I'm sure I have some lovely friends named Karen, but you know, the Karens out there who make the comments about they're lying, they're saying they left because the food's bad, and in the beginning all they said was how great it was. It's like, chefs change, provisions change, countries where you provisions change,
budgets change,
and budgets change. So for those of you out there chirping saying they lied about the food, things change.
All right, something else that we've seen here is that we own a home in Tennessee. No, we do not. I have a very knowledgeable cardiologist that works in Johnson City, Tennessee, and he's great. But we do not own a home there, and we never have.
Ever. Now, I wouldn't mind, and we're kind of currently looking, so if you've been watching, we're looking in North Carolina and Tennessee, trying to find a home stateside. We do still have our place in Nicaragua. We do have our place rented out, so we've rented another place. Remember, it's really inexpensive there, but our place is currently rented out. We are currently filming in Tennessee because Steve's cardiologist appointment is tomorrow, and then we are heading out on a cruise next week. So
yes,
lots of fun stuff, and we're going to share all of that.
Hey, don't forget, we've got one other important thing on our way down to this cruise is we are stopping off in the beautiful city of Tampa.
Go Bolts!
To see the lightning.
Woo-hoo!
I'm so excited.
We've been Lightning fans for over 20 years, or even longer, 25 years. I can remember our daughter being so young at games. So we're going to get a quick game in before we head out on our cruise. But let's talk about the third thing that we've seen in comments about us that's simply not true. The third thing is we were bullied off the ship. Now, we were never bullied by any residents or passengers. I want to make that very clear. When I was referring to how people treat other people and bullying, it was, we saw it on a regular basis, but not towards us specifically. We have a group chat for the entire ship of residents, and some people would attack, and I think that's the appropriate word, other people for having an opinion, and it broke our heart on a regular basis. We avoided those people. You guys know that we're positive people, and we always did our best to be positive. We're very good at anything in life, not just on the cruise, of making lemonade out of lemons. But when people really start mistreating people, it really gets to you, and it was heartbreaking. And I was always like, let people have opinions, or let people complain if they want to complain. It just broke our hearts. There was a lot of unkindness going around, and we started avoiding a lot of people.
It's so interesting as well, the dynamic there, that there's such an online chat group and that is something that I just, from day one, I never took part in. If something needed to be said, or you needed to talk to someone or give an opinion, do it face to face. and have a chat with somebody. And so that there's sort of these two separate worlds, you know, there's the face-to-face, and then there's this online space where people can give their opinions or
Yeah, he never even joined the WhatsApp groups. He's like, I don't want any part of them. He said he felt like it was at work a lot of times, you know, if I'd tell him what was going on. So in the end, I left most of the groups and just stayed in a few of them. I just wanted people to be nicer, and it's that simple. So no, we weren't bullied off the ship, but we did see a lot of it, and we didn't like it. The fourth thing we saw was that we charged people to film their rooms for the rent and sell page.
No.
Never.
We did this. We saw an opportunity where we could create content and we could help our brothers and sisters out on the ship and get their places rented. And this would, you know, continue the dream that we all had, is that you could own your own cabin and then you could rent it out. You could freely come and go as you wanted and maybe make a little money. And so we saw this opportunity to film their rooms, and it was sort of a win-win. They would get their room rented and we would get views, and it really all worked beautifully, really. But no, we did not charge any money to do that service.
Ever. Another one of our favorite ones that we laughed at is MidLife Cruising. They're not well traveled. What?
Well, what?
Huh? Okay, first of all, we live in a developing country where we spent years, and within that time frame, we always went to other countries, and we didn't just visit them for a few hours. We would spend weeks and months in other countries all over the world. I literally asked Google, because I laughed at this one. They're just not well traveled. How many countries will you have had to have visited be considered well traveled? It started at 10. I've been to 10 in less than 2 months. Like,
yes,
it floors me. We've been on over 50 cruises before we spent a year traveling the world.
So during our professional lives, yes, more than 50 cruises. And then here in the last year, we lived on a residential cruise ship, and we visited more than 40 countries. And so, and we didn't stay on the ship, well, we vlogged the whole thing. And so we got to discover every single one of those countries and the ports that we went to, and tried the food and tried the beer, by which I just happen to have a beer right here, a juicy little thing. It's a hazy IPA.
Are you doing a beer review?
I know my good friend Joe Rhodes, he loves a good IPA, so let's try this one from Sierra Nevada. Oh, it's got that bite that, Joe, I know you'd love this one because it is bitter. I do love the hazy IPAs. I don't love the super bitter ones. I'm going to give this one, how about a 6.5? Cheers, friends.
While he's enjoying his beer, not only have we traveled extensively, we've stayed a long time in different countries. For example, we've done a month-long trip all over Spain to really dive deep into the culture. We've done the same thing in Italy, and I'm not talking about on a ship. I'm talking about going inland, going to different parts of the country. I laugh.
What did we spend 10 days or 2 weeks in Ecuador? I mean,
yeah, like, we love to travel, and we like to do it in depth. Now, I will say the one person who makes the most of these comments, the one who I think is extremely naive, it's like the same person over and over. I'm like, she's probably like sisters to like somebody on the ship that doesn't like us, because it just floors us how, I guess, naive is the best way. Like,
yes.
We're not well traveled. What?
Okay.
So another comment is that we planned for months and months and months that we were going to sell our room, which is very false. From the day we decided to the day we had the payment come in was less than a month. So no, we didn't plan this for months and months. And why don't you?
Yeah, I know we have been reflecting here recently, and especially the time when we flew to Vancouver, we were so excited to get back on and see all of our friends, continue our journey. And really from that point on, it just sort of spiraled downhill. And it wasn't one big thing. it was a lot of little things that just kept eating at us. And based on all of that and
I think the opportunity, like we didn't make a video saying our room's for sale. It was somebody who'd been aboard before. They reached out. So we're like, you know what?
Maybe now's a good time.
Now's a good time. So, you know, we've promoted it for so long, and it does weigh heavy on us that a lot of people bought in because of us. But nobody bought in blindly. I mean, who would go, oh, they said it's good, so I'm going to move on the ship? Everyone, like the people who say, oh, it's their, you know, MidLife Cruising's fault that these poor people bought, like, that's kind of degrading them. Like, you don't think they did some research and looked into it or reached out and asked the hard questions? Like, come on, everybody who bought is much smarter than that. Or they're risk takers. I know a lot of you are not risk takers, but you shouldn't like talk down to all people who love taking a risk. For even if the venture stopped today, they got over a year of sailing, they took the risk, and it can be amazing. Just things changed. It didn't work out in the end. We thought we'd miss it more than we do, but you know, it is amazing for some people and not for us. It's that simple. That's why I say if it still interests you, go rent. Make your own decisions.
And surely there were a lot of those people. That was the flip side of the coin. I know we met some people in Anchorage as we were getting off and they were getting on. They were coming on to try it for a week, or maybe they were getting off and they had been all along the West Coast and they tried it out and it just wasn't for them. And so they saw things that they just didn't want to buy into. And so Angela and I had this conversation, and I pretty much guarantee everybody on this venture had the honest conversation that, okay, we're going to take this risk. We're going to do it. We're going to try it. And if it doesn't work out somewhere along the way, then we've got to be happy with our decision that we made. And, you know, we were willing to take that gamble. And we don't gamble a whole lot in life, but this is one that we were ready to do. And I think we had a great time doing it.
Yes. Another big one was they must have not had any friends because they didn't tell anybody they were leaving. Like, that could be the only answer. It amazes me people today can't process or think just because it's not the way you would have done it, we must just be wrong or lying. Like, people do things differently, and that's what makes the world beautiful. We'll tell you why. We didn't tell anybody until we left, or the day we were leaving.
All right, so we have bought and sold properties in our adult lives, maybe 20 or more times that we've bought and sold. And we've done our own little thing of flipping once or twice or 5 times or 10, something like that. And so anyway, during these real estate transactions, during the whole time that we've ever done them, we've kind of kept it tight to ourselves. You know, that old adage, until the fat lady sings, you know, until you have that money in your hand or your account and the wiring's done, you know, you're just not sure if it's going to work out. And so probably in a 4-week period, because of the buy-sell share, you know, the buyer that bought our room, he asked around and he asked us and he said, do you know anyone that's selling? Because we could transfer our monthly rent, our monthly lease. Maintenance fee. And so that was a plus for him. And so he asked around and we said, well, yes, there actually may be one for sale. And we made that decision. It was a tough one that we didn't take lightly. And so during those 4 weeks, we told 2 people, a couple that we were the closest with, and we didn't tell them until, you know, right towards the end. And because we needed somebody to help us.
Yeah. And then our closest friends that you see in the background of our videos, Patty Jo and Scott and Paul, some of our closest friends, we told them the day of. But we didn't book our flights until about a week before that because we wanted to make sure everything was going to go through. It's also, I mean, the real estate reason is the biggest reason. Yeah. But for me, I'm very, you know, emotional. And I'm like, if I tell them, I'm going to cry. So the morning we were leaving, So we booked our flights out of Manila like a week before, and we were just waiting for that money to come through, and it went through, and then the very next morning we were gone, and then we told them, and it was hard.
We literally told them at breakfast on the morning that we were departing.
Scott even said, I thought so. Something was up with you guys, because it's just hard.
Yeah.
And yes, we have made lifelong friends, and there are people we keep in touch with, and we've already visited some when they were off the ship. We keep in touch messaging and texting, and people reach out still to this day. And we did make lifelong friends. Just because we didn't tell them every little thing doesn't mean, one, we're lying, or two, because we didn't do the way you would do it, somehow we're wrong. Everybody's different. And remember, be a little more accepting of people do things differently, which makes me think about the person who's like, they eat at 5 o'clock. That is absolutely nonsense. Nobody in the world, even in Florida where the old people are, nobody eats at 5. Like, someone literally said that. I'm like, what? So that person obviously doesn't actually watch the channel. They probably heard someone say that. But what I said was, when we're off the ship, we eat 2 meals a day. We eat a super late breakfast, 10:30 or 11, and then a really early dinner. So we eat twice a day. It's just kind of what we do. So yeah, on cruise ships, I always click early dining, and they didn't eat till 6:30. So yes, I didn't like that. But for some reason, because that person likes to eat at 8 or 9, we must be wrong or bad. I'm like,
maybe you're the one that's wrong. You're not supposed to eat late 8 or 9.
I mean,
you're supposed to watch TV at 8 or 9.
I mean, it's so funny that people just come so hard at us. And you know what? When we're in Spain, most things close by 4. So I even eat earlier than 5 when I'm in Spain. We spend a month there, and I'm like, well, I'm not eating at 8 because I just want to do what's best for me, not what's best for you. It's that simple.
I know. I tell her all the time, it's the internet. You guys are world champions.
They travel better than us, and their eating time's better than ours. We must be wrong. It's funny, like, it's okay if we're different.
Whatever.
And the biggest con was the food. Really? I remember them promoting the food while they were on board and making video after video of the buffet. Like, things change. I don't understand that. People, like, you're right. This is how it was in this 3-week window, and it's going to stay exactly the same for eternity. I can be in one princess ship and jump to the other one, and it's not the same. It's like...
Well, I mean, I did tape the buffet many times to show you what they were presenting to us. I'm not sure that I turned around and tasted everything to give you 110%
it's delicious.
review. I don't think that happened.
No.
And so, you know, it's just, things change.
Keyboard warriors. And the last one was just kind of expanding on the familiarity of the staff and crew. We loved getting to know them on a personal basis and know about their families or their kids and their home countries and their culture. What I was referring to is when things get so bad that they're going, don't eat this, whatever you do, don't order this. And there was a smart person who said, I feel like MidLife Cruising complaints were meant to be a very much read between the lines thing, since they can't come right out with the truth. An exercise for the reader, as one might say. Win RDL? You're a smart person.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this inside episode to what you're saying and what the reality is and the truths are. One
more. The rumor on the ship created by a very specific couple said we left because we didn't get our way. We never got our way. Not once.
Never.
Never. Not once.
Never.
Not in Belfast. Not when we set sail. We always joke that we were the redheaded stepchild. We never got our way. So it took us a year to leave. So again, somebody who
doesn't know
saying that's why we left when it had absolutely nothing to do with why we left. And some of the things we responded to or wrote about after we left was specifically because someone said, oh, they left because they didn't get paid when they sold rooms. It actually had nothing to do with that. That was a conversation. It got put on blast in Substack and on Facebook and those discussion groups that are out there. And that's the only reason we even said that is no, we never got paid because someone said, oh, they got paid. So things that we mentioned were only mentioned to basically defend ourselves against basically the lies. Yeah. But thanks for watching. We are heading on a cruise in a week, and we're going to share all those things. We have group cruises in 26 and 27 with Maxi at Go Cruise and Travel. Her information is in the link. Come hang out with us on board, and we'll tell you all the things you want to know.
But wait, we're headed to Tampa to see the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm going to drink beer and watch hockey and have a glorious time there.
But thank you so much as always. Feel free to subscribe, comment, ask anything. I have people reach out still on Facebook all the time. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We keep you up to date there. We're going to keep on trying, sharing once a week. Over the next month or so, we're going to be sharing all the things from our upcoming cruise. We're going to start showing more stuff about Nicaragua for you.
Can't wait. This cruise is going to be epic. We are headed down to the Dominican Republic, and I can't wait to see what it has in store for us and Nicaragua and all our friends. And man, we're just going to have a good time.
Yep, because we don't travel much. All right. Until next time, bye, friends.